Welcome to my video. So I noticed some people have been asking how I do my Gnome desktop, or they like how my desktop looks like. So I'm gonna give you guys a quick little video on the extensions I use for Gnome and how I set it up. Okay, so the extensions I get, first of all, you guys will need to install this package. This can be installed on many different distributions. Usually it's always the same name, but it could be a different name. But I'm quite sure it's the same name. On Gentoo, how we install it, we do sudo emerge dash dash ask, and then the program you want to get is called Gnome browser connector. This works with Firefox. And when you go to their page, like the GNOME extension page, extensions.gnome.org, basically it'll be a little thing. It'll say like to add the add-on, and you'll like get an extension to go. And this add-on just basically will bring you to this page here, and also it'll let you add extensions to your GNOME extension, like as you see here. So the extensions that I use, so like when you do that, you just basically install it. That could be, it's the same command, like the same software name in Arch Linux, same software name in Ubuntu and Fedora and many other distributions. That's what it's called, GNOME browser connector. And then when you go to this page, it'll ask to add the extensions, but if you do log in Firefox and you already have the add-on, it'll just stay there with your user account. So once you have all that set up, you basically just type blur. That's what I do, and you just grab the extension, blur my shell. Okay, I use blur my shell, and I use dash to dock, and then you'll see dash to dock. Click on that and just put install. Also, I use desktop icons. There's two of them. I just use desktop icons. This one here sometimes does not work. It wasn't working properly. I was missing GDK Wayland. So I just use desktop icons, and it works anyways. They're both fork from the original thing. But this has some other extensions, but this it does the same thing. It works fine. I use desktop icons. There's app indicator. That's what I type. It's app indicator case status. This here basically gives you like a system tray. So like, any programs that require a system tray will be here. These are all the system tray icons. What else do I use? I use that, blur my shell, dash to dock, desktop icon. I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, blur my shell, dash to dock, desktop icon. There is Tiling Assistant if you want to use that. And that's pretty much all I use. Now how I set up my phone keeps going off here. How I set off how do I set blur my shell? I just keep it default. That's basically, I like the default, looks fine with me. You can configure it, but I keep it default. Looks great enough. Now how I set up my dash to dock though, I take off the auto hide thing off, so it's always visible. I put my icon to 32 in size. In appearance, I shrink the dash, so I have that tick. Then I use customize indicator, yes. Then I go customize the dash color. I set it to black, and I put fix for the, transparency, and I put it 50%. That's basically how my dock is. That's the look of my dock. That's pretty much it. And yeah, that's that is basically it. Like if I show the desktop, there's desktop on the icons, system tray, blur my shell, as you can see. And that's my dock. This wallpaper, I can link it in in the comment if you guys want it. I can link it for you guys to grab it. So for the shell, now the shell, I use you can get this source. It's called gogh.sh. Just type that, like GitHub. Just type gogh.sh GitHub. Grab the source, and once you have the source, just type cd go, like capital G O G H, and there should be an executable called gogh.sh, and you just run that, and there's a bunch of color schemes. It might be different because I noticed the newer source has more color schemes, so the number will be different. I have the older source, but I just use it because I only use one color scheme. I use Mona Lisa, which is 127 on this, but I think it's 132 on the newer source. And if you want them all, you can just type all in capital letters like this. You can grab them all and use whatever you desire. But I use Mona Lisa. That's the color scheme that you see here. And the bash prompt, well, yeah, it's not gonna work. Anyways, I didn't want it to work anyways. The bash prompt, this here, is just a prompt that I made. I can probably send a .bash RC file from my pastebin if you guys need it. Or you can probably just copy it by looking at it on screen. That's basically how it is, but it's probably but yeah, you won't be able to copy it. But like I use like, you know, alias for colors, like for the alias colors. Like if I do it like that, you'll have like colors, like in highlight colors, Santec colors, highlights. I also theme my MC as well. I have a configuration for that as well. But I don't know. I can probably make like a little, like, you know, gun zip of some dot files that I like for MC and stuff like that. But the bash prompt, if you guys need it, I can probably send a pastebin somehow. But anyway, it's like, yeah, that's pretty much how I set up my Gnome Desktop. I mean, like just the basics, like the layout itself, like that's how I set it up. You can set your own wallpaper and use your own bash prompt as you want, but that's how I do it. And yeah, that's just a quick little video on that. So if you guys wonder how I do my Gnome Desktop, and I use Gnome. That's what the system is, Gnome, obviously. Anyways, yeah, cheers.